Hey everybody, welcome to the Tiny Studio. It's your girl Nail, and this is a Dreadlock love video, baby. You know what time it is. It's time to talk about all things dreadlocks. But today, we're going to be talking about something a little personal. A little personal. My dreadlock kings and my dreadlock gentlemen. This conversation is going to be for your education. But I'm primarily talking to sisters of a certain age like myself. And I know. I don't look mature enough to be having this conversation. But that white hair right there kind of tells you that I am. What are we going to be talking about today? We're going to be talking about menopause. Yes, and I know it may seem as if I look too young to know about this subject, but trust me, I happen to be knowing all about it lately. Why? Well, because as I say often here in the Tiny Studio, I was born in the mid 60s. I was a child of the 70s, came of age in the 80s, and now it is 2022, and I have four, four grown children. So I am a black woman of a certain age, and I am currently in the throes of menopause. Yes. And while it is such a great thing not to have a period each month, I'm trying to tell you the universe charges you for that. It really does. Because even though I may not have a monthly cycle, okay, I am still going through changes, okay? I'm going through serious changes. And I mean, comment below if you know what I mean. I have or surround myself with three fans. I have a ceiling fan here in the tiny studio. I also have a small a small handheld fan. I think I've showed that to you a couple of times here in the tiny studio because hot flashes are real. Then I have a fan that I have posted up in front of my bed. So yes, I have hot flashes, and hot flashes are one of those things that occurs when you are going through menopause. There are other symptoms of menopause, though. Not only with the hot flashes, do we have that going on, then you have your mood swings, and child, I am super moody some days. How about the fact that my taste buds have changed? There are certain foods that doesn't taste necessarily the same anymore. I notice sometimes that I have a vitamin deficiency. So I make sure I take my multivitamin every single day. Oh, what else have I noticed? I have noticed a great many things walking this walk of being a mature like Nista Diva. But one of the things I've also learned and noticed is that my locks are going through changes as well. I noticed, before I get to that part, and this is tied into what I'm about to talk about as far as yeah, my hair or what you may be going through with your hair. I notice also dryness, right? And it's not just the dryness in the secret garden, but it's the dryness of my hands, which I have never experienced before. And I'm going to tell you, I'm a black woman. I grew up, around surrounded by lots of black women, mothers, my mother, my grandmothers, my aunts. And, it was a constant that you put lotion on yourself. Lotion up your legs and your hands and your elbows, lotion it down or, put some baby oil on it or, Vaseline. So, that's something that we did. But it had nothing to do with acute dryness, which is what I'm experiencing right now. I've noticed that I'm putting more coconut oil or cocoa butter on my hands and on my elbows more often because I'm experiencing dryness. And that same dryness happens with my hair as well. And that's something that I have never experienced until I hit the stage of menopause. And that's where I have noticed that I'm experiencing dryness and some thinning. Yes. And those are also all a part of menopause. And I wonder, are you experiencing those same things? What do you do? Or what should you do when, or what happens? What do you do when you experience the thinning and the dryness of your hair, of your scalp, that is becoming a part of your routine now as far as maintenance? Well, what I have been doing is, first of all, I had to acknowledge that this is what I was going through. And when I went to see my primary physician, you know, she let me know that yes, you're going through menopause, and here are some things that you can do to treat it. Here's some vitamins that you can add to use or to supplement your diet to help you with the menopause. But what I have also learned is that in order to keep my hair, even though in certain areas I noticed there's some thinning, there are some things that I have begun to do to help strengthen my locks while it is going through this type of transitional period. Now, I've had another period of my life where I experienced changes in my hair, and it happened when I was pregnant. When I was pregnant, I noticed massive growth, right? I mean, you're just like superwoman when you're pregnant. Your hair just grows everywhere. It's just flowing. It's just beautiful. And then guess what? Have the baby 6 weeks later to 2 months later, and then you notice you have some shedding, right? Yes, and some women shed, or they thin first and then shed. So those are the different hormonal changes that is because of the hormonal changes that our bodies are going through, and that's why it shows up with the thinning, the shedding of the hair after we give birth, or before we give birth, after we give birth, all of that. And the same pattern happens during menopause. You experience different things. Now, what I am experiencing is one, dryness, two, thinning. Now, what I've begun to do is I've begun to implement certain things into my lock maintenance routines that helps to combat the dryness. So what I've been doing is I've been using coconut oil infused with a little vitamin E, and I've been massaging that on my scalp, making sure that it gets in there, because with the coconut oil helps to combat the dryness, and then the vitamin E also seeps into my scalp and helps to produce healthy gives me healthy follicles, which produces healthy strands of hair. Now, I have noticed that I do have some thinning. So the spots that I see thinning, what I've been doing is I've been allowing the thin locks to grow out, and then I have been interlocking them or allowing them to grow or marry with a stronger lock. But the way I do it is I don't start at the scalp. I allow the thinning lock to grow out a little bit, and then I marry it, or connect it to a healthier lock, and then you know, it grows into a lock. If instead of being two locks, it grows into one. So, or Congo locks. So that's what I've been doing lately. And at first I did not connect my thinning to menopause until I did some research on it. And then I was like, oh, this is part of the symptoms of going through menopause. Some women, their hair sheds, some women, their hair begins to thin. And, you know, I don't believe that my thinning is out of hand at this time. And I'm sure that if it becomes a little bit more, noticeable, then of course I will make an appointment to see, see my dermatologist, see my doctor, and maybe we could work on something else. But basically, these are the things that happen when our bodies begin to go through different phases of aging. You know, I had to I have to accept the fact that, my body and my hair are going to just, they're going to mature, they're going to evolve, because that's what we do as human beings here on this planet, right? We evolve. And it's just something that I had to come to accept, just like I had to accept the fact that my hair, my locks are turning white. You know, I could ignore it and try to, you know, do what I had been doing, which is putting color on top of it, dyeing my hair really tough, stripping the melanin from it and going blonde or going platinum. I could do all of those things, and I have done all of those things, but really it put off the inevitable. And the inevitable was the fact that I need to accept where I am at this station in my life. And I had to grow to understand and be happy with where I am, because, you know, I have a beautiful home. I have beautiful children. I have, a husband that loves me. And I am really, truly blessed. And so what? My hair is turning white. So what? That's that's called life. That's called living. And we have to be happy. We should be happy, and we should be accepting of the grace that is bestowed upon us each and every day. And so what? A little white is not going to hurt anybody, right? Right. And a little thinning, that's not going to hurt me, is it? No. And no one could tell. You wouldn't have known it, right? You wouldn't have known it if I hadn't told you. So, those are the things that I am going through, and those are the things that women of a certain age go through as well. And especially when you have locks, it's easy to hide the thinning that you may experience going through menopause. It's very easy to hide it. And then, like I said, there are things that you can do to help strengthen your hair or strengthen your locks as you go through this process of, evolving and maturing as a beautiful, beautiful Locknista queen. These are the things that we go through. Find a loctician that is knowledgeable about how to style and maintain hair for mature women. Um, there may be some things that they can do that will help aid in making your hair look fuller and beautiful, and to help you keep your joy and your healthy self-esteem as you walk through this door with me of menopause. You know what I'm saying? But we got this, don't we? We got this. I mean, it's life. It's what my grandmother Fee always said. Keep living, and you will experience a lot of things that you have never experienced before, but do not let it ever steal your joy. So thank you so much for hanging out with me in the tiny studio. I hope you learned a few things today. And if you would like for me to talk about more, get into more subjects about or surrounding the topic of menopause, just let me know in the comments section, and we can get it popping. We can talk about it. I don't mind. I don't want to say that my life is an open book, because it is not, but I don't mind talking about subjects that have a universality to it that we can all relate to, and I can share my experiences with you, and you can share your experiences with me, and we can evolve and grow together. So thank you so much for hanging out with me in a tiny studio. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. And when you see a video, so that when you see a video that's posting, or so you could be notified when a new video will be posting shortly. Thank you so much for hanging out with me here in the tiny studio. I'm Nell, and I will see you next time here in the tiny studio. Bye bye.